Jason Rzucidlo reporting just outside the Franciscan Center building at Madonna University for the 5th annual PAH-Fest Motown. Stay tuned for remarks from panelists in the panel titled The Creative Process of Filmmaking.
And he's been working with his capstone class as well as Jennifer Champagne, who really put this whole panel together with the students, and we are indebted to them because the students worked their tails off, as did their instructors, to make this whole week go. We have a whole bunch of really cool seminars here, and we're really, really proud and impressed to bring it to everybody, including our internet audience. It is my pleasure now to introduce Hannah, who happens to be one of the capstone students, and she is producing this event this evening. And she has the honor of introducing our beloved Christopher Coppola.
Hello everybody, I want to thank you all so much for coming, along with your panel for coming, and Christopher Coppola for founding PAH-Fest and bringing it here to Detroit. And this is clearly where it's at, still filmmaking, no matter what. And I'd like to introduce our MC, well, moderator rather, Christopher Coppola.
It's a pleasure and an honor to be here. I'm amazed always that my friends who are more like family always pull off the PAH here in Michigan and didn't call Motown. I do want to, this is a little bit of a different PAH, which I'm excited about in many ways. It's more concentrated on filmmaking and filmmakers. The whole idea of PAH was to make it inclusive to, when I first invented it and came up with it, to non-filmmakers. You know, like 4 plumbers working together to make a film, but they were very happy to be plumbers. The concept came when I was part of a big film festival in New Mexico called Flicks on 66, where they would, have people submit a script, and usually they were from either LA or New York, and they would actually make a film, a professional film with the state-of-the-art HD equipment. I was rather bored when I saw the films because they were trying to be a ticket to another film. They were beautifully lit, very well edited, but had absolutely nothing to say. And I see that a lot in film schools. I'm part of the Directors Guild of America, and I have to judge student films, and I'm bored. And don't like them. When I see a film, sometimes by a non-filmmaker who is sincere and just has a story to tell, I'm blown away. I had Richard Beggs in the PAH-Fest Chicago as a coach, as an Academy Award-winning mixer. He said it was enlightening because when you're a professional, you lose some of the magic, you forget. And working with non-filmmakers and the excitement behind it really jazzed him. This is different. This panel are all filmmakers, and I'm going to follow my creativity concept, but normally when I do these panels, I have filmmakers, I have plumbers, I have people from all walks of life, and you can see how it connects. Tonight, and it's the first time I'm doing this, where I'm actually having all filmmakers or people involved in the film industry do this. I can love them. Okay, good, good. Well, one of the things that really saddened me when I did the very first one in New Mexico is I had a team of propane drivers. And at the last minute they couldn't make it. But it's because of that Sue sent the team to us and loved the whole process, and we brought it here. Because it's primarily professionals here in the film industry, I'm going to add one category, which is A. So it's going to be RSVPA. I'll explain what each of these are, but A means advice. Because I'm assuming everybody in this room are students in filmmaking, future filmmakers, and I think it's important to have a category of advice, like what each of these pros recommend to you to become a filmmaker. RSVP was something that when I was a student I started in music, and personally I think everything is music. It's a philosophy of mine and my family. You had to play an instrument and you had to love music. If you didn't, it was a problem. To the young people now, Puccini, they think is a mushroom. Puccini is a beautiful, wrote some of the most beautiful operas. And it's sad to me that a lot of young people don't know who Puccini is. But we had to know. Okay, we would get whipped if we didn't. If we didn't know who Van Gogh was, it was a serious problem. So music was our first love. And in many ways, filmmaking is the opera of today. That's why you have a score. It's a very powerful medium, but opera was huge in its day and was the leading form of entertainment for also not just the royalty, but also the people, which they called opera buffa, which was for the people. So it's interesting to me that we are doing this panel on filmmaking because RSVP came to me through music, and I still consider filmmaking music. My teacher, who was Aaron Coppola's protege, you all know who Aaron Coppola is. Young people. Oh, Lordy. We're going to have a little chat. Anyhow, he was named Barney Childs. I was his protege. And he told me to write music that sounds good to me. Be true to myself. Follow the process. Do not write a piece of music that sounds like Beethoven, because I don't care. Beethoven already existed. And write who you are. And every piece you write because the piece is its own little baby. Okay? He wanted me to learn about process, not goal. Some people write, in my school would write like Bach, hoping to get, people to hear and, wow. I wrote something that nobody wanted to hear, called the Jungle Quartet. I was only 16, but he was ecstatic about it and said, keep going. Keep going with this kind of thing you're doing. It's a philosophy, it's poetry, and you will grow into your own voice, which is part of what RSVP is, being true to yourself. But how do you break that down? How do you break down the creative process? And what he had us read was a book called RSVP. And that breaks down to R, meaning resources, which means, what do you draw from? Well, when I was little, I drew from music, I drew from art, I would say a lot of art. I also drew from wanting to be recognized by my hugely successful family. Because unless you had an Academy Award, you weren't really counted. Which is not cool. I not like that. Which is another reason why I started PA, because it's about everybody. That was something that bothered me. So I would say a resource was to be kind of a person that would fight against exclusivity. That's a resource. It's also something else later, which we'll get into, but I guess the resources is I felt like I had to compete with people that wouldn't listen to what I did. Score is what you do to get ready for a performance. Well, we have filmmakers there. Normally that would be the screenplay. If they're screenwriter filmmakers, it could be a shot list. Fellini used to draw. Kurosawa was a great painter. He would paint before he made his film. That's the score. So if I was going to have each of these people do a score, and I gave it to you, I'd say, oh, well, this is Christus' stuff, and if I do this, I'll make a film that's sort of like what he does. So it's like a stamp, okay? Everybody has a stamp. My stamp was I would write little things in my score. I would make an instrument an animal. The oboe was the little weasel. And I'd say the weasel now is saying he doesn't dig this bird because the bird is judging him. So I would write that. And so someone who saw it said, okay, it's Christopher, we gotta make it like a tone poem. It's a story. A value action, which is V, is what's important to you. You grew up there, you have certain things that no matter what, you're going to always bring to the table because you value it. Well, I value family, okay? I value fighting exclusivity. I value being yourself. That's an example. It could also be, we'll find out here, politics. I would say Oliver Stone, I'm keeping it film, his value action is politics. Every film he does.